My name's Margaret Dangoor. In my work, I'm sort of involved with at the moment a major dementia research project. Determined it followed one that was called MODEM. MODEM was really looking at the services that people with dementia used and the cost. Determined is looking what services people use, at what stage, what they best make use of, but also the inequalities around that. And it's covering over 900 patients with dementia and their carers. My role is to link researchers with the general public or whatever we're focusing on at the time, whether it's people with dementia or carers or older people. And I recruit not for participants to the project, but as reference group members. So they're outside the project, but they're looking in and connecting with researchers and discussing projects to have that link with real people. And over time, this is what I find so useful, makes research a reality. I think it's very important to have public involvement connected with the project early on so that researchers are actually designing the project, a project that's realistic. I understand that because I run a group, and I've been running it for 12 years, and we talk about absolutely everything under the sun. And then I look at the project, and I'm, as I say, I'm not a researcher, but I'm looking in and commenting with my group, etc. And I mean, it's so important to connect. Professionals can work in silos, as you know, and it's got better over the years. You know, there wasn't a lot of funding for involvement, but now funding that is being thought of in the set amount of funding that provides that early input that you've got to look after, in a way you've got to keep people informed, you've got to make them feel valued so that they feel they're valuable and they're not, they're just not being asked a load of questions and then forgotten about. And so you really try and nurture them and help them realize the value of what they're doing. But I would say the main important thing is to keep people informed. I connect with them in between the meetings and tell them how valued their work is. It's difficult for researchers. I think if you haven't got somebody like me, a connector, then they can forget, the people out there that are supposed to be helping them and advising them and sort of reviewing what they're doing. It's quite a privilege to be part of the team. I mean, I was a bit daunted when I was asked to, but that's the issue. I just thought, I'll give it a go. Done it for about 30 years, but not attached to research. My background is health service originally. And when I retired, I just got involved in the local community as a trustee of local charities, etc. And then I also got involved in patient and public involvement, as it was called at the time, when it really first started with some national body that was set up. And I'm on the carer strategy group for my locality and also the dementia strategy. And also I volunteer for my charity, of which I'm a trustee, and run a expert carers group, as we call it, and it's for carers of people with dementia. When I became a carer, it was natural that caring became my focus. As my husband had dementia which was recognisable for at least 16 years. And, the early stages of dementia and your needs and what the carer needs you to support you is so different from 10 years or wherever. And also, there's the issue of people developing dementia at an early age. And at the moment, I'm getting a lot of stories, and we discuss it within our group. They're looking after people with behavioural issues. There's been a change in the way care is provided for people with dementia. in that they used to stay with secondary care and have that expertise, whilst now they are diagnosed and then, because of funding and all the rest, they're referred back to their general practitioners who haven't got the expertise and not very accessible at the moment because of all the issues around demand, etc. These research projects are going on for years, and actually, during that period, the way care is provided can be quite different, and social care services are strapped for cash. And since my husband died in 2018, he used to go to daycare and really benefit from it because he was very passive. And it only cost £20 a day when he first started, which was some years ago. But now it's over £100 a day. Well, you know, that makes a tremendous difference because so many people are self-funding. The project, it's so valuable. Because they've been so long, they've connected with only hundreds of people. And I think it will go on. Just to think that they can follow a disease like dementia over its whole course in relation to social care. It's so important because, you know, carers as a whole save the country, unpaid carers this is, more than the NHS costs annually. That's just not people with dementia. That's all the family carers. So this project, which is looking very importantly at inequalities, but also looking at services that best meet people's needs, well, that can only be, and over time, it can only be immensely helpful to sort of use our resources